30 seconds, that's how long you'd last in a real pirate attack. Not because of movie-style sword fights, but because something happens in those first moments that ends any chance of survival. Most people have no idea what it is, and once you learn, you'll see why lasting longer is nearly impossible. When pirates attack your ship, their silent, fast boats cut through water like deadly shadows racing toward their prey. You won't see them coming until they're already climbing over your railings with weapons ready. These boats are built for one purpose: catching you completely off guard. Every design choice focuses on speed and stealth. The hulls slice through waves without creating the usual splash and foam that would give away their position. It's like being hunted by floating ninjas who forgot to wear black. The approach happens faster than your brain can process. Modern pirate vessels can cover massive distances in minutes while staying quieter than a whisper. By the time you notice anything unusual on the horizon, they're already close enough to board your ship. Pirates study your route for days before striking. They know exactly when you'll be most vulnerable. They know when your crew changes shifts, when people eat meals, and when everyone's distracted by routine tasks. This isn't random violence. It's calculated hunting. Their timing is absolutely perfect. Pirates attack during shift changes when half your crew is tired and the other half isn't fully alert yet. They strike during mealtimes when people are gathered in one area and not watching the water. Here's the terrifying part about reaction time. Humans need about 2 seconds to process something unexpected and decide what to do. Pirates don't give you 2 seconds. They don't even give you 1 second. The boarding process happens so fast that your brain is still trying to understand what's happening when they're already on deck with weapons drawn. Technology gives modern pirates advantages that would shock most people. GPS systems track your exact location in real time. Night vision equipment lets them see you when you can't see them. Communication devices allow multiple boats to coordinate their attack with military precision. Your enemies have upgraded to smartphones while you're still using a rotary phone. The element of surprise isn't just helpful for pirates, it's their most powerful weapon. When something completely unexpected happens, your brain essentially freezes while it tries to process the new information. This freeze response lasts several crucial seconds, during which pirates complete most of their boarding process. Multiple boats attacking from different angles makes the surprise even more devastating. While you're noticing one vessel approaching from the front, 2 others are already moving into position from the sides. It's like playing whack-a-mole, except the moles have weapons and you don't have a hammer. Training differences become obvious immediately. Pirates practice these boarding techniques over and over until every movement becomes automatic. While you're still trying to figure out what's happening, they're already executing a plan they've rehearsed dozens of times. The silence factor makes everything infinitely worse. These boats sneak up quieter than a cat burglar wearing slippers made of cotton balls. By the time you hear any noise from their engines, they're close enough to throw ropes onto your deck. The surprise is complete, and your defeat is already guaranteed. Speed and stealth are just the opening moves in a game where you never stood a chance to begin with. Part 2. Why your weapons and fighting skills are totally outmatched. Most crew members have fighting skills that would lose to an angry house cat because they've never been in a real fight and never expected to need those skills. You signed up to operate machinery and navigate waters, not to become a warrior in life or death combat. The weapon situation alone should make you want to hide in the engine room. Pirates carry sharp, well-maintained weapons that they use regularly and know intimately. These aren't tools that sometimes get used for fighting. These are purpose-built instruments designed specifically for hurting people efficiently. Your options for defense are basically a joke. That rusty fire axe hanging on the wall hasn't been sharpened in years and weighs more than some people can swing effectively. Trying to fight pirates with ship tools is like bringing a spoon to a sword fight, except the spoon is also rusty and you've never used it as a weapon. Combat training makes all the difference in the world. Pirates don't practice fighting once a week at a local gym. They fight for real, regularly, against other people who are also trying to kill them. Every conflict they survive teaches them something new about staying alive when violence erupts. Violence changes everything about how a person moves and thinks during combat. Pirates know how to stay calm when people are trying to hurt them because they've been in that situation many times before. You know how to read weather reports and check engine oil, which helps exactly 0% when someone's swinging a blade at your head. The unfairness factor is massive. Pirates don't fight with honor or follow rules about fair combat. While you're thinking about proper conduct and trying not to seriously hurt anyone, they're focused entirely on disabling you as quickly as possible so they can move on to the next target. Weapon quality matters more than most people realize. Pirate weapons aren't just sharp, they're balanced perfectly for their fighting style and maintained like precision instruments. Meanwhile, ships carry defensive tools as an afterthought. Fire axes for emergencies that don't involve fighting. Maybe a flare gun that might work if you're lucky. Physical conditioning creates another huge disadvantage. Pirates stay in fighting shape because their survival depends on physical capabilities. Ship crews stay in working shape, which involves completely different muscle groups and endurance requirements. It's like expecting a chess player to win a wrestling match just because they're both competitive activities. Speed in combat comes from muscle memory, not conscious decision-making. Pirates have developed automatic responses to different fighting situations. Their bodies know what to do next without their brains having to think about it. Your muscle memory is programmed for completely different tasks. Operating controls, reading instruments, following safety procedures, all valuable skills that become completely useless when someone's trying to kill you with a weapon. Pain tolerance gives pirates yet another advantage. They're used to getting hurt and continuing to function because that's part of their job. They treat wounds like paper cuts while you treat paper cuts like major injuries. Even perfect fighting skills can't overcome what happens when the ship itself becomes your enemy. Part 3. How ship design forces you into deadly traps. Ship design turns your floating home into a floating prison during any kind of attack, with narrow passages and cramped spaces that become death traps when people with weapons start chasing you around. The hallways on most ships barely allow one person to move comfortably during normal operations. Now try to fight or escape in one of these corridors. It's like trying to have a sword fight inside a refrigerator, except the refrigerator is also rocking back and forth. These confined spaces create what experts call fatal funnels, places where defenders get trapped with no room to maneuver or escape. Pirates know exactly how to use these design flaws because they've studied ship layouts extensively. Stairways become particularly deadly during attacks. Most ship stairs are steep and narrow to save space rather than allow quick movement. Going up or down these stairs during violence means exposing yourself completely to anyone above or below you. You become a sitting duck, except as sitting ducks don't usually have to worry about people with weapons waiting at the top of the stairs. The lack of escape routes makes everything infinitely worse. On a ship, there's nowhere to go beyond the edges of the deck. You can't turn left or right past the railings. You can't dig underground. You can't climb trees. Multiple deck levels create a nightmare scenario for defenders. Pirates can control the upper areas and force everyone below, then systematically clear each level like exterminators dealing with pests. It's like a deadly game of hide and seek where the seekers have weapons and the hiders have nowhere to hide. Room layouts make the situation even worse. Most ship cabins and work areas have only one entrance, which means only one exit. Once pirates reach that doorway, anyone inside becomes completely trapped with no alternative way out. Equipment and furniture that seemed helpful before becomes obstacles during violence. Tables, chairs, machinery, and storage containers all become things you can trip over, get caught on, or get pinned against. The ship turns into an obstacle course designed by someone who doesn't want you to finish the race. The rocking motion of ships affects balance during any kind of physical confrontation. Pirates are used to fighting on moving platforms because that's where they always operate. You're used to working on moving platforms, but working and fighting require completely different types of coordination. Sound bounces strangely off metal walls and through confined spaces, making it nearly impossible to tell where attackers are coming from or how many there are. You might hear footsteps that seem to come from one direction when the actual threat is approaching from behind you. Height advantages become crucial in ship combat. Whoever controls the upper levels can see everything happening below and attack anyone trying to move around. Pirates prioritize gaining this high ground because it gives them tactical control over the entire situation. You might know your specific work area well, but pirates know the whole ship better than you do. The physical layout problems are just the beginning of why resistance fails so quickly. Part 4. Why pirates focus on securing control. Points. Immediately, pirates don't waste time fighting individual crew members when they first board because they have a much smarter approach that ends resistance before it can begin. They rush straight to the bridge, weapon storage, captain's quarters, and communication equipment to gain total control. It's like playing chess against someone who captures your king, queen, and both rooks in the first 3 moves while you're still trying to remember which piece is the horsey. The bridge gets hit first because that's where all ship operations are controlled from. Once pirates have the steering wheel and instrument panels, they can direct the ship wherever they want, cut power to different sections, and monitor all the vessel systems in real time. Communication equipment destruction happens almost simultaneously. Pirates know that calling for help is your only real chance of survival, so they make sure it can't happen. Radios get smashed, satellite phones disappear overboard, and emergency beacons get destroyed faster than you can spell Mayday. Consider what happens to crew morale when the captain gets captured in the first 30 seconds. The person everyone looks to for leadership and decision-making is gone, and suddenly nobody knows what to do next. It's like a football team losing their coach and quarterback before the game even starts, except the other team has weapons instead of just better plays. Engine room control gives pirates the power to stop the ship completely or prevent steering. They can shut down power to critical systems, disable propulsion, or create mechanical problems that force your crew to focus on keeping the ship running instead of fighting back. By hitting multiple critical areas at the same time, pirates create several emergency situations at once. Your crew can't decide which crisis to handle first because they're all equally important and equally urgent. The speed of control point capture prevents any organized response from forming. While one team secures the bridge, another grabs communications, and a third rounds up crew members. These attacks happen so close together in time that defenders never get a chance to coordinate or plan. Psychological impact plays a huge role in this strategy's effectiveness. When crew members realize that the captain is gone, the radios are dead, and strangers are controlling the ship, hope disappears instantly. People give up before they even try to fight because the situation feels completely impossible. Once pirates have the control points, they can take their time dealing with the rest of the ship because there's no time pressure anymore. Nobody can call for help, change course towards safety, or access defensive equipment. The outcome is decided even though some crew members might not realize it yet. Control point loss guarantees defeat, but panic ensures that any remaining resistance crumbles immediately. Part 5. How panic causes crew members to act against each other. Panic doesn't just make people frightened. It makes them dangerous to everyone around them, including their own teammates. When crew members realize they're under attack, rational thinking disappears and survival instincts take over in ways that actually make survival less likely. Communication breaks down instantly when panic sets in. People start shouting contradictory orders, asking the same questions repeatedly, or making so much noise that nobody can hear important information. It's like trying to have a conversation during an earthquake while everyone's also screaming about different emergencies. Flight responses activate immediately, but there's nowhere to run on a ship. This creates stampede effects in narrow hallways where crew members literally knock each other down trying to reach safety that doesn't exist. People who should be helping each other instead become obstacles or threats. Panic makes people selfish in ways they'd never normally consider. Someone might push a friend aside to get through a doorway faster. Someone else might grab safety equipment and refuse to share even when sharing would help everyone survive. The weapon-dropping phenomenon happens constantly during panic attacks. Terror destroys fine motor control, so even if someone manages to grab a defensive tool, they'll probably lose their grip within seconds. Pirates have learned to just wait for defenders to disarm themselves through pure fear. Accidents multiply when people stop paying attention to their surroundings. Someone runs into a wall and knocks themselves unconscious. Someone else trips over equipment and breaks important bones. A crew that was perfectly healthy becomes injured before enemies even reach them. Trust disappears completely during panic situations. Crew members who've worked together for months suddenly can't depend on each other. Someone might think their friend has been captured and is now working with the enemy. Teamwork evaporates faster than water in a desert. The isolation effect is particularly cruel because panic makes people focus only on their own immediate survival. Each crew member becomes an individual trying to save themselves instead of part of a group that might actually have a chance if they work together. Speed of panic transmission is absolutely incredible. One person's terror spreads to everyone nearby within seconds, creating a feedback loop where fear keeps getting stronger and stronger. Each person's panic makes everyone else more panicked. Decision-making ability shuts down under extreme panic because the brain stops processing information logically. Choices get made based purely on emotion, leading to obviously bad decisions like running toward danger or hiding in easily discovered locations. The irony is that panic makes people do exactly the wrong things at exactly the wrong times. When they should be quiet, they scream. When they should work together, they scatter. When they should think clearly, their minds go blank. Panic guarantees that any organized resistance becomes impossible, but pirates have one final advantage that makes defeat absolutely certain. Part 6: How Pirates Bounce Back. Fast. When things go wrong, pirates train for setbacks and complications because they understand that no attack goes exactly according to plan. When something doesn't work the way they expected, they don't freeze up or give up like normal people would. They adapt instantly and keep pushing forward with backup strategies. They're like those inflatable punching bags that pop back up every time you knock them down, except these punching bags have weapons and friends. Regrouping speed is absolutely terrifying to watch. If one pirate gets injured or taken out of the fight, replacement attackers jump in immediately without missing a beat. They don't stop to help their wounded teammate or worry about what happened because stopping means losing momentum. Reserve fighters wait just out of sight during the initial boarding, ready to reinforce any area where resistance is stronger than expected. While your crew is still dealing with the first wave of attackers, fresh pirates are already moving into position to hit you from completely different angles. Pirates use what military people call redundant planning, where every important job has multiple people trained to do it. If the person assigned to capture the bridge gets stopped, 2 other pirates already know exactly how to complete that mission without new orders. It's like they're all reading from the same playbook while your crew is still trying to figure out what game they're playing. Injured pirates get replaced so quickly that you might think you're fighting completely different people. Someone you thought you successfully fought off shows up again minutes later, except now they're angry and they've brought reinforcements who know exactly what happened. Your crew operates completely differently under pressure. When something goes wrong during normal ship operations, you have time to think through solutions, check manuals, or radio for advice. During violence, there's no time for careful thinking, and most crew members don't know how to adapt quickly to chaotic situations. Fatigue hits defenders much harder than attackers because fear and adrenaline are exhausting emotions that burn through energy reserves rapidly. After just a few minutes of terror, your physical capabilities drop significantly while pirates are still operating at peak performance levels. The relentless pressure pirates maintain prevents defenders from catching their breath or organizing any kind of response. Every time you think you have a moment to rest or plan, another attack comes from a different direction, ensuring that you never get the chance to recover. The ability to adapt during combat means that even if you somehow gain a temporary advantage, pirates will adjust their approach to counter whatever you did successfully. You might win one small battle, but they're already planning how to win the overall war. Your crew has never practiced recovering from violence, coordinating under extreme stress, or adapting to life-threatening situations. The first major setback usually ends any organized resistance because nobody knows how to bounce back from failure when failure means death or capture. This relentless adaptability creates a situation where defeat becomes inevitable for defenders regardless of their courage or determination. The countdown to your defeat started the moment their boats appeared on the horizon, and nothing you can do is likely to stop it from reaching zero.